So it is launch day morning for the NVIDIA RTX 4080. Excuse me, I'm in my car. I'm actually driving over to a Micro Center. I want to see how the stock is. I did try on the various websites and it was an absolute disaster. I tried on Newegg, Best Buy. Like on Newegg, I couldn't even get something added to cart. It kept giving me like these really weird errors, like it can't ship to my address, and then it would say sold out while the GPU still showed in stock. These systems really have not improved at all during the last few years of these sort of GPU shortages. Very, very unfortunate. Best Buy was even worse. It didn't even show in stock. It just said coming soon. And then like a minute later, this is still close to that 9 a.m. sort of opening time, it just said sold out. So I didn't even get a chance to add anything to the cart, which either tells me there are a lot of bots or a lot of people trying to get these GPUs, or there's just such small limited numbers that anybody that's actually even trying to get them is enough to sort of saturate the system. Now I'm going over to Micro Center. I saw on different forums and where people are talking that there were people in line in the morning and they still have some stock left. Right now it's about 9:32 in the morning. They opened up about 9 a.m. So I'm not there at opening, but I just want to go see what the stock is anyway. Friend needs a 4080, so if they had one, maybe I would pick one up for him. But I have a 4090. I'm pretty happy with that, and I really don't have a reason to get one. But I'm curious what the actual stock is going to be like. Online, it's been measurably worse than the 4090 launch. The 4090 launch on Newegg and Best Buy, at least some of them showed up in stock, and it seemed to be a little smoother. While in like the first, let's say 5 minutes, you had a much higher chance of getting one. But today, absolutely nothing. So either a lot of people are getting them, or there's just very, very minor levels of stock. Either could be true. We would never really know because NVIDIA never really releases these type of numbers. But I'll get a better idea from Micro Center. I know they had over 150 4090s in stock on release. So if they tell me today they only had like 80 or 60 4080s, we'll know that the launch itself was definitely smaller, because usually that's a pretty good average across different stores, and you can tell what they have in a certain store. Even though people don't have Micro Centers near them, a lot of people don't, I know, especially in Europe and different places, but you can sort of tell what the general stock levels will be online just by extrapolating the data that you get from the Micro Center. If they have a lot of 4090s there, maybe online they're going to have a decent amount. If they don't have any, you could also check online. They don't have it. So it's a good barometer, like to check the temperature, if you will, of the general stock and availability situation. But I heard that they're not going to have too many in stock this year. So launch day is always the best time to get a GPU. It's always when they have the most. I bet you that Asus, the Strix, the 1549 one that's absurdly priced, I bet you that one's sold already. Doesn't make any sense. I bet you it's sold just because it's an Asus Strix. That's basically it, and people just like the design. So here we are, right in the morning at Micro Center. It's going to be a little bit after they opened, obviously, about an hour after, but we'll see if they have any 4080s in stock. Let's go in and see how it is. An hour after is a good time, I think. Leaving Micro Center, and there we go, successful 4080. There we go, 4080 at Micro Center. There were actually like a lot in stock. So I'm just leaving Micro Center now, and they have tons of these guys. They have loads of them. They had a lot of these gigabytes. They had the Asus TUF. This seems to be the better value because it's an overclocked one and it's $1269. So it's actually pretty close to the $1199 MSRP. Most of the $1199 GPUs that I would consider good, at least a good value if you can call it that, these aren't really great values, would be maybe the Asus TUF, the non-overclocked, but that one sold immediately, it seems. Most people got that. They did not have any of the 1549 Strix, the most expensive one. So that was a little bit surprising. I thought they would have had at least a couple, 2, 3, like they usually had with the 4090, but they had none of those. They have a lot of Asus TUF overclock at $13.99. Nobody is buying that. Even if it's Asus, people seem to be buying these gigabytes over that for, you know, you save a lot of money, like 130 bucks basically, for what will perform literally identically, unless you're really into sort of the Asus styling. I don't really think it makes that big of a difference, honestly, unless, you know, you can make an argument the Strix looks the most different, but that one is at a tremendous price that I don't really think, you know, they're going to sell very many of. That's why they didn't have them here, even though Newegg seems to have sold out of whatever they had very, very rapidly. MSI Trio, that seems to be maybe another one that was a decent, you know, card for the price. Most of the other ones at $11.99 were like PNY and Zotac. Yeah, I'm sure they're fine. You know, I've owned them in the past, but you know, gamers typically don't prefer PNY and Zotac nearly as much. Gigabyte, at least this one, I feel like it's a pretty good GPU. I've had some Gigabyte ones before. And this one, of course, is going to be going to my friend, but I will be getting to test it first, which is nice. I'm going to take some nice video of it, some nice pictures, be able to sort of test it, see how it's like. And then my friend is going to get his, you know, 4080. I mean, it's not the best value, not the best price, but he hasn't been able to get a 4090, and they've been pretty much sold out. So I would guess this is probably the second best option for now. One benefit, at least at this Micro Center, you do get 5% off, and then the sales tax is really low at this Micro Center. I think it's like 3% or something like that. So you actually get some percentage off, and if you compare this, if you buy it on Newegg, the base model, even the Founders Edition, it actually ends up being cheaper buying this one at $12.69 if you count the tax and the 5% off. If you buy it in a different place that has the full sales tax, the reason is here they give a cheaper sales tax because of the region that it's in, you know, something with the state itself. So that's certainly pretty interesting. So you get this for basically MSRP. If you buy an $11.99 one here, you're getting it for under MSRP technically because of the 5%. But then, you know, that's counting sort of rewards and things like that. But you do get an instant discount, which is nice. That's why I like Micro Center. Online was difficult to find these. They sold out really quick. But Micro Center, there's so many in stock, it's ridiculous. Like, I don't think it's going to sell out today at all. Like, definitely a lot were in stock. You can see the wall of GPUs. According to them, they got less than the 4090 initially. Seems like they got maybe about 100, and they still have a ton left. So there were people in line this morning, but people are not happy about the 4080 price. That's going to be the big takeaway from this. This is almost giving me some vibes of the Ryzen 7000 launch, where like nobody bought them and they had to start discounting them and, you know, having RAM in addition for free, mainly because the platform costs are so high. So definitely it's not the same like it was before. People are holding on to their money much more. And even the 4080, I mean, if you walk into this Micro Center, you have pretty much your pick of various 4080s. They still have some decent ones left. No EVGA, of course. That would have been my choice, but you are getting the cheapest price. No 4090s anywhere. And I guess the next thing is to wait for RDNA 3, AMD. Let's see what the pricing is going to be. I think people are very excited rather than this 4080, which is a great GPU, but not a great price, a terrible price, very expensive, but it is what it is. All right, guys, so remember to subscribe, smash that like button, and I'll see you guys on the next video.